So, hello, this is a team named BAP, and my name is Do-hyun Hong, and I'm from Tech Santa Catarina high school students.
My name is Isabel Elizondo.
My name is Anjali, and I'm also from Korea.
So BAP is food in Korean, and we are looking for optimizing the acquisition of food to be efficient and healthy. This project idea came from an elective class where we were to challenge and explore one of the UN's SDGs and make a project relating technologies, health, and sustainability. The SDG that we chose is the second SDG, which is the Zero Hunger. These are some needs that we generated during the brainstorming phase, and at the end we came to one ultimate need, that is to minimize food losses during storage. And the target is to end all forms of hunger, malnutrition, and food losses by 2030, and the indicators being the massive food waste and the prevalence of undernourishment. In order to reach the solution and prototype ideas, we mainly use the Scamper method. The Scamper method helped us to generate disruptive ideas, substituting, combining, adapting, modifying, proposing, eliminating, and rearranging. In fact, using the Scamper method, we researched about different projects and applications that were similar to our objective and goals, and we could combine and adapt those ideas into our project.
Actually, our teacher, Arturo Mendez, introduced this method to use it to develop our project.
So the objective, how can you achieve zero hunger? So our product mainly uses the smartwatch and an application we are designing. The materials that we are going to use is very similar to the healthcare system that is already in the smartwatch. Since we are focusing on the household food leftovers, we are going to reduce the amount of waste by knowing the exact amount of food to consume. By using the application, we expect that we are going to be able to prevent buying excessive amounts of food products.
So we try to, in one application, we try to divide 4 parts, which is the first one here. The blue one is where you donate food, like when you make food and you made too much and you want to share to people, you can enter this app and look for locations where you can donate the food. And the yellow one is the nutrition part, where you can know how much kind of nutrition you can consume, and the app will recommend you to which nutrition is good for your body. And the pink one, which is more related to exercising, you can calculate your BMI, and the app will also recommend which exercise it best fits for you and how much walks you did daily.
So this is an additional function that we will include in the application. So basically it works as a scanner. If a person takes a photo of his or her kitchen inventory, the application will automatically scan the ingredients available in the household and give a bunch of lists of recipes that are based on the ingredients. This way, we expect that it will reduce the amount of food that we produce in households.
So this is more likely where our project is about, and we haven't tested it yet. But if we finish our if we have the product, we're gonna do like a test to 20 to 30 people, and then we're gonna do like a final survey to receive feedbacks from them.
All right, that's very interesting. I have at least 3 questions. Belen, do you have any questions?
First of all, I wanted to congratulate them because I think this is something that we should certainly do, because in my household, sometimes if we could make the most and share what we have, I mean, this could certainly make a difference. And this is very interesting what they've shown us. Maybe you can ask and then I'll save my question for later.
Okay. So in the photograph behind me is an urban farm that I live on. So I do all of this. And my 2 questions for you, 3 actually, are: 1, how will you collect the data from the smartphone app? Because that's important. And 2, how will you deal with the inevitable decay process of the food? Because I do collect and compost food, and I also live in a very densely populated urban environment, and the smell is a very real thing. Food, when you save it back so it doesn't go to waste if you don't eat it, begins to decompose quite rapidly, especially the closer you are to the equator, which I'm assuming you are. And my 3rd question is, how you picked a subset of 30 people, how will you collect that data? Those are my questions. Answer them 1, 2, 3, or answer them not at all. But I think this is a really interesting generational solution to a problem that is probably millions of years old at this point. So I guess start by telling me how you came up with this solution to this particular problem to begin with.
Since we chose zero hunger and we wanted to contribute to that issue, and we want to solve it, so we started thinking about the solutions or some projects that we can do, like realistic, and we decided to do reduce the food waste, domestic or from school, so we can be related and we can take care of them. So the test will be held from, first of all, like our friends, or our relatives, so we can collect the data from somewhere close, and then if it works, we're gonna start expanding the area, so we can do gradually the project.
Okay. The application on the smartwatch, do you have to write that, or is there one already existing to collect data?
I think this, some of the ideas are already exist in the smartwatch, but we wanted to add together so it's comfortable in one application. You can have multiple entertainment, yes, you can do this and that in one application.
Okay, let me pause for a moment and apologize. This is the very worst opportunity for me to interact with young people, because I live in this world of recycling food. So Belen, you have to take over, because I'm far too critical. I'm so sorry. I'm listening to myself and I'm just too much. So I'm going to mute myself.
So if I understood it right, what you're doing is you're matching together people that need food and people who have more than they need, so that they can pick, like do a databases so that they can pick food and avoid starvation. Is this what you're aiming at? Yes. Like finding people that live close to another and they can like share.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And we.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how long have you been working with this project, and how far are you already? So you haven't tested it yet, right?
Not yet. Yes.
Okay.
We're working on the programming still.
Okay, okay. Do you have a schedule? Do you know more or less when it is going to be ready to be tested? No, not yet.
We came up with this idea for the project because of our elective class, and we're almost done with the class, but maybe by our personal interest, we can continue with this project to test it and create the app. Maybe
well,
by
I think it would be great to test it and implement it, because I think it could be a very good solution, right?
It's an interesting solution to a very, very real problem for 2/3 of the world. So I want more data. That's all.
Okay, they just started. I mean, this is the idea, but if you develop the idea, if you have a databases with enough people, and if you start implementing it and trying it, I mean, the potential is big, I think, right? It's only started. So I would encourage you to go forward and develop it more, okay? Because the need is there.
Definitely.
And it's a very important need.
What will you do? What will you do when people start using this and realizing how it's going to impact them? I mean, like if it makes a huge impact in a local community, how will you take advantage of that? Will you be excited by that? Will you build other programs? Will you find funders? This is a big thing.
When people start using this application, they will become aware of what they're consuming and the food they're wasted. And I believe it's also gonna impact the marketing, like marketplaces, since like sometimes we're not aware of what we're buying. Like for example, Costco, they're like selling massive food products and we buy them without thinking, and it's like it's too much, you know. You won't even finish it and you're gonna throw it away. So I think, like, I hope people are aware of what they're buying and like think if it's really necessary, or like how are we gonna finish the food. So I think it's also gonna help that. Yes.
Gee, that's a really good point that you just made. Is the focus of your research in feeding people or making people aware of how wasteful our societies actually are? Because those are two different problems. And if it's the latter, you're definitely onto something. That is marketable, but it's not going to feed anyone. It's going to make people aware of how wasteful our culture is. And that is where you put in leverage to say, okay, now that you know how much food you're actually wasting, think about people who have nothing. And that is how you change your culture. That's a very important distinction.
Yes, I agree. It's very important.
Interesting. Now you've got my attention. Okay, this could be big.
So don't give up and just go on developing it, because the idea is there. And if you get to the point, this is something big that you can have. And it can help make the difference. So I congratulate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for listening to our project. Thank you.
I agree with Belen. Keep working, keep thinking, keep dreaming about this. That's the only way to move forward with an idea that doesn't yet exist. Keep working. Good job.
Thank you.